Okay, that was Mob Psycho, Season 1, Episode 7. Yeah, I don't even know if Teru got to Mob, or I don't know if he brought him here, or if it was just coincidence that Mob was walking here. The purple-haired hoodie guy, did we like confirm last episode that he was an adult?
I'm kind of torn on if he's an adult or his power is so strong that it feels like he's had a long time to control it.
I found him. I'll apprehend him and bring him back. Like, is he like who? Obviously, he has a boss, right? And like, is he like a vigilante who's like hunting bad or mean psychics, or like, are they trying to recruit Ritsu?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Why wouldn't you recruit Teru then? If Teru was technically stronger than Ritsu up until this point, and they're apprehending strong psychics to bring to their evil side, wouldn't they have tried for him?
Very true.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did try for him and he beat them. I'm not sure.
I'm very interested to see where that leads. I'm interested to see like just the interaction between Ritsu and Mob. It's going to make me very sad and uncomfortable.
Since last episode, the amount of uncomfortable energy that I've felt from the show has been immense. Because I can't... A lot of times I try to get into the minds of characters and try to really understand or justify their actions with kind of evidence from their past, or, oh, that makes sense. And like, I'm struggling so much with Ritsu's decision to choose violence for the sake of violence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to wrap my head around what that means for who he actually is. Because that makes me feel like we don't actually know exactly who he is, and now we're maybe learning. Or is it a personality change? But I feel like I didn't understand his personality enough before to know if this is the true him or an actual personality change.
Yeah.
I did write down that I now realize that he was not scared of Mob and Mob's power. He wanted it.
Maybe, probably. I just don't want that to be the case.
I really liked our theory that maybe he wanted to be strong enough to, like, protect Mob or keep him safe, and now I'm like, it doesn't seem like that.
Well, I don't know, because it's very compelling the way that they're writing Ritsu, because it's not like, I don't think it's as one-dimensional as, oh, he wanted power so he could do the things that he wanted, which are bad. It's like doing the bad things are increasing the power, and we still don't know why he wanted the power. Like, they're like motivating each other, and through that it's building his personality of being a bad guy. But like,
these extreme emotions, and you're very right that he could just be he knows that he can gain power through these extreme feelings of guilt and violence, I guess. And he's using them as a means to get to the end of being really strong psychically.
Mm-hmm. I love Teru as a character. I really, I love him so much. And his handshake.
That wig was it took me out of being super excited that Teru was having this interaction with Ritsu.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is with that wig? Like, I know it's only probably been like maybe a week in universe. So that's not enough time for him to grow back the hair on the top of his head. But the wig was a little much.
I just love him. I love him so much. And I love that he learned that lesson from Mob and they utilized his character here. Like, because we could have thought that up ourselves. Like, okay, Ritsu's like going in a bad route, and we just saw him use his power on other people who would of course Mob would, but who would teach him to not use his powers on other people? The person who just learned it from his brother. Like, I like that.
That and Teru's powers are, and psychic abilities is a level that Ritsu can think of maybe as a rival, a first step rival to Mob. Because obviously Teru was beat by Mob. Teru, at the moment, I don't know anymore, but when they first interacted is stronger than Ritsu. I don't know about from the end of the episode if Teru would still win there. I don't know. Ritsu seemed to have an immense growth in emotional power through continuing to choose violence.
Which, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like seeing the results of his work at school.
And it's hard because it's like we're also getting how he talks to Kamuro, which is, I guess, the person that was leading him in this horrible activities against the delinquents of the school, the trash of the school, I think he was saying. And he was kind of like, we deserve this, or you deserve this. And I'm like, well, that is true.
Yeah, but like they kind of are operating with the like, oh, we've done it. There's no going back. We have left a scar on these people's lives forever. And I'm like, yeah, but you could like own up to it and then say that you did everything. And I'm hoping that happens.
So it's just interesting because Ritsu has full awareness that what he's doing is bad. He has full awareness that he's choosing violence now for the sake of violence. Because before he was choosing to follow along and clean up the school to make it a better environment, which is kind of possibly a good thing, to except not how they went along with it.
Yeah.
But now he's aware enough to know that the things that he's doing are purely just to fuel him and not for any betterment of anyone else.
I would like to think that if the powers weren't a factor, he would have stopped, but we obviously have nothing to suggest that, you know?
I think it's quite interesting that we were given a very small baseline of him and who he might be and what his personality might be, separate from him wanting psychic powers.
Yeah.
Before all of this happened. So now I'm like, I don't know you.
Do you think if Ritsu sat at that table without Dimple, like if Ritsu and Mob interacted without Dimple being there, do you think Mob would have been able to realize that Ritsu had awakened something or was psychic or used his powers?
My only reason for thinking no is because if something is incredibly weak, Mob seems indifferent to it or doesn't really notice it.
Yeah. It'll be terrifying if Dimple is ever able to increase his like power back and then control Ritsu and use his body as a vessel. That'd be a very terrifying foe because I don't think Mob would have the heart to do anything about it unless he could safely remove Dimple.
I was about to say no, Mob could beat him, and then you totally brought up a really great argument that Mob's not going to want to beat up his little brother even if his little brother is possessed by Dimple.
Mob would rather die than even use his powers to hurt another human.
We saw his interaction with Teru in their fight. Like, he would rather get choked out and go unconscious.
Mob is like my sweet baby, and I don't want any... He doesn't deserve any wrongdoing in his life.
I just want to know what Ritsu really actually feels or thinks about his brother, because I feel like I'm getting slightly mixed signals, and
I
I'm
get you.
unable to deduce exactly how he feels about him, because at one moment he's like, I want to clear up the school so it's a safer place for my brother, and then the next moment he's like, I want to surpass my brother.
It feels
like,
intentional,
what do you want?
Right? Like that they're not like giving us like a straight answer.
Because maybe he doesn't even... he's a kid, so they could just be painting him as not knowing himself yet.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, this next episode is Ritsu going to genuinely act like, what am I doing that was wrong? I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this, like, for the betterment of things. Or
play the whole, I want to be like you.
Yeah, and, like... Where does that lead? Is that going to, like, be like, oh, okay, I'm learning from my older brother that I shouldn't use these powers on humans? Like,
I don't know, because I feel like that he, at the moment, needs something big.
Yeah.
That's gonna make him stop. And I did say during the episode, oh, he needs to be knocked down a peg. And then I started thinking, no, because that's gonna make him want to get even stronger because he was beat once, you know? So it's like, I don't know what Mob can do here to change Ritsu's mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if either of them are going to want to fight each other.
If you took away Dimple forever, is there ever going to be a possibility Ritsu uses his powers without Dimple? Or like
maybe when he's way older. Dimple was controlling the output.
Is there something controlling Mob's output? Is that the something that must never be touched?
Oh, I like that.
You know?
I like that.
It could be. But then that would imply that there would be something controlling everybody's output, and I don't think anything could control Teru.
I mean, it kind of just seems like character. Mob's output is like a faucet or like a hose with some water, or like a pipe with some water coming in it, and it has a cap, and it kind of opens a little bit and lets a little bit of water out, and then there was like a big, like something got stuck in the pipe and it got loose, and then all this water shoots out at once and breaks the cap.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm not a plumber, so that was a really horrible like analogy. But
no, I get it. I liked it. I don't know, dude. I don't know why I love Teru so much. In my mind, he's like,
oh, I just thought it was so cute that he was like, does Kageyama know about this?
Yeah.
And then he walks up to Ritsu and he's like, I'm better now. I'm a good person now. Look at my tall hair.
I would like to have like a friendship between Teru and Mob.
They are.
Do you think,
I think in Teru's mind, they are good friends.
Do you think Mob feels really bad about Teru? Like he let himself go. Like he couldn't do what he promised himself he would do, and like let out. Like he technically hurt Teru.
I think he would. I think if we had seen an interaction with them after, which we didn't, we might have seen.
We saw a little bit of something. It was Teru starting to talk to Mob, and then the Body Improvement Club like interrupted their conversation.
But I feel like if they had actually had a moment to like speak on it, I think Teru's overwhelming kind of thank you for doing that for me, and you know, like Teru came out of that a better person.
He did,
and I don't think he regrets getting to know what's truly up with Mob and like inside Mob, and also realizing that psychic powers aren't really like a complete fun party trick activity to beat up local gang members. It can be way more serious than that. And I think he has a lot of respect from Mob, and so I feel like if someone's meeting you with all that energy that's more positive, then it's going to be harder for you to be really down on yourself when they tell you that you improved their lives.
Yeah, I agree. I've found him. I'll apprehend him and bring him back. I've found him. I'll apprehend him and bring him back. I've found him. I'll apprehend him and bring him back.
I've found him. I'll apprehend him and bring him back.